Hello and welcome back to the Adrian Project. Hello, many thanks for choosing to click on my thumbnail and to watch my content. All very much appreciated as always. Now I'm assuming because you've clicked on my thumbnail you're a fan of heavy metal, and if you're like me you're a fan of new wave of British heavy metal era especially, and if you are and you're my age you'll probably remember Iron Fist magazine. At the time this was the only magazine that wanted to talk to the new wave of British heavy metal era bands, see what they were up to nowadays. You got tons of reviews of new product they were bringing out. You got loads and loads of history, archive things harking back to that day. A lot of photographs that you'd not seen before from that era. Then, unfortunately, a couple of years ago, saw its demise. Of course, we've got Classic Rock magazine that used to do new wave of British heavy metal articles every now and again, I think when they'd not got anything else to write about. But for the most part of that, it was just rehashes of old Kerrang interviews. Speaking of Kerrang, the reason why I'd stopped buying that well over a decade ago was because of the sneering, taking the piss attitude they had towards bands from the era, and especially the hair metal bands as well. I think they just totally forgot that if it wasn't for that era of music and how bands looked, they wouldn't have a magazine to write for. Of course, we've got Metal Hammer, who do tend to cater more for the up-to-date bands, but you know, for people my age in their 50s, the only time we get to hear about anything that we grew up with is if Metallica or Priest or AC/DC or somebody had released a new album. All great and good, but that's all we had to go for, and hardly anything to do with the new wave of British heavy metal, and I thought that's how it was going to be ad infinitum. That was until I went on Facebook a couple of weeks ago and saw an advert for this magazine. At first I thought they were just cashing in on the Ace of Spades 40th anniversary, but then I saw those 6 little letters at the bottom, NWOBHM, and my interest was piqued. This was a magazine that looked like it could fill the hole who misses left by Iron Fist magazine, but could it? So now we're going to have a look in inside the pages. Is this the magazine that is going to save us starving 50-plussers and fulfill our need for all those bands that we grew up with? Well, there's only one way to find out. No, Harry Hill, it's not with a fight, it's to look inside the pages. Okay, so for all of you who are new to my channel, many thanks for subscribing. Very much appreciated for that as well. Just to let you know, I don't own a camera or anything like that. I don't even own a mobile phone. So all my videos I have to take using my laptop and the camera on that. So I have to try and come up with ingenious ways of taking different angles. And this is the best way I can do it. Until I do actually go out and get a camera. So here we go. Okay, so Fistful of Metal, the first issue, Motorhead, Ace of Spades turns 40 on the front, of course. We've got the contents, Raven, Hammerfall, Armored Saint. There's a Monsters of Rock article as well, and we've got all the other bands at the bottom who are appearing in this month's issue. So on the inside cover, adverts for I'm a Hero, Tarja and Ellison's new CDs, full page for the Ace of Spades 40th anniversary box set. Now, to link in what I want to say about that box set, I'm just going to skip a few pages as well, because there's an advert there for Judas Priest's new book, 50 Heavy Metal Years. Now, I'm going to be doing a video in the near future, and it's going to be titled something along the lines of, are rock and metal fans unfairly hit in the wallet and purse? Now, I say that because the Ultimate Aces of Spades collection edition of that is £250. This book, which is around 650 pages in it, £79, and even with a 10% discount code, it's still going to make it 70 quid, which for a book of photos, I think, is a very, very, very overpriced. But that's an issue for a future video. So anyway, on we go. So we've got the advert for the Ace of Spades box set over this page. The more adverts, we've got Armored Saint's new album, Fate's Warning, 6 Feet Under, loads of other bands. That's in some silly writing, death metal writing that you cannot read the right way around, never mind upside down. The intro page, letter from the editor James, decent bloke is, what a fantastic guy. The photo of metalheads enjoying themselves. You just cannot wait until we get back to be doing that. Okay, so page over there, we've got, tell you what the regular features are, loads of features and photos. We've got more album adverts there, features again with your contents and more pictures, advert for the Judas Priest new book, and the first band to be interviewed in here is Diamond Head. Interview with Brian Tatler. I have read this article, very well written, and they're talking about the re-recording of the Lightning to the Nations album. It's called Lightning to the Nations 2020. It's a great little interview, that. Over the page, we've got a few snippets of news. We've got some kind of letters page, remembering some of our fallen heroes, Eddie Van Halen, Pete Way and Lee Kerslake, who have all unfortunately passed away. More album adverts there, and we get some more news. You do get the chance to send in your pick of 10 heavy metal albums. You may be lucky to be featured in a future edition with that. More little reviews, an advert for The Damned, July 2021. Fingers crossed we'll all be out gigging and back to normal by then. Okay, then we've got a news feature, songs that they've been playing on the Death Deck while they've been putting this awesome magazine together. More adverts, you know, Santa's coming, so, you know, if you have short on ideas on what to get for Christmas, you've got plenty of album ideas. Next up on this page, we have our first new band. Well, they're new to me, you might have heard them before, Undeath. So we are getting new bands spoken about as well. A couple more adverts there. We've got the spring tour dates for Diamond Head. Like I say, fingers crossed we will be there and we will be watching them. Next up, we've got Hell Ripper. That's a fascinating guy. He's done the whole album all by himself. Hats off to him for that. Absolutely fantastic. And there's the artwork as well. More adverts. I don't mind adverts because I say I'm not a big fan of the internet, so I'd sooner see them set out like this, and then I know what to look for. A new band, Spirit Adrift. And then we get on to the next feature, which is Hammerfall, power metal from Sweden. If you don't know Hammerfall, they're an awesome band. If you like Judas Priest, Dio, all that kind of thing, Hammerfall are for you. Me and Claire absolutely love them. So there's a nice 4-page spread there. Then Armoured Saint, absolutely love Armoured Saint. If you don't know Armoured Saint, if you're a bit younger, they were started off around the same time as Metallica. Used to be called the most headbangiest band in the world, and I think they're absolutely awesome. Again, if you like proper heavy metal, power metal, that kind of thing, you'll love Armoured Saint. It's a great interview with them. I have read this interview. It's a fantastic interview talking about the new album. John Bush is talking about technology, because the first song on the album is all to do how technology seems to be taking over, and whether you think it's a good thing or a bad thing, he seems to have the same thoughts on it as I do. Read the article, you'll know what I'm on about. Next up, there's an article of a new band, well, relatively new band, Amaranthe. I think these are one of those bands that divide metal fans, because they do put a few elements like sort of what you call dance beats in it, but it's still heavy metal. I think if you like baby metal, you'll love these. I've seen a couple of videos of them, and I don't mind them. I think they're all right. I think what they're doing is new, it's fresh, it's give that bit of an edge to it. But there we go. So there's a nice interview with that band there. We've got an interview here with I think it's Apocalypse Now. Is that what they're called? I'm reading this upside down. She'll have to excuse me. Oh no, it's not. It's Mind Wars. There we go. Should have done my research. Slap on the wrist. Yeah, Mind Wars. So that's a new band to me. Then this is another reason I bought this magazine. Raven. I absolutely love Raven. Massive Raven fan. Claire and me went to see Raven headline on the Saturday night at the Hard Rock Hell, New Wave of British Heavy Metal 2 at Sheffield. Be a good couple of years back now, and they were truly awesome. I could have watched them again and again. Absolutely awesome band. One of the bands that don't get the recognition that they really should do, and they are still going now doing what they've always done. Absolutely love Raven. Then we come on to the Motorhead main feature in the magazine, talking about the 40th anniversary of Ace of Spades, of course, talking about the run-up to the recording, during the recording and afterwards. This page here gives you a full rundown of what you get inside that box set, that £250 box set, may I add. Thinking how Lemmy used to talk about best of releases and whatever. I'm not sure whether he would have sanctioned this. I don't think he would have been too chuffed at the £250 price tag for starters, but that's just what I'm assuming to myself. So there we go. Lots and lots of writing. It's a good, thorough article. Let's put it at that. Right. Okay. So next one up, we've got Primitive Man, who are a new band to me. So there we see, this is what I'm saying, we do get in this magazine a mix of the old and the new, and I think it's looking through this magazine, they've got the balance just right. Enslaved, awesome band. That's a new interview with Enslaved. Moving on, we have Skeletal Remains. Now, I've not heard of Skeletal Remains before, so I will be reading this article with great interest, because they are a metal band who look like a metal band. That's one of the things you'll notice in this magazine, that metal bands are starting to look like they should. That's one of the reasons why I gave up on Kerrang all those years ago, because they were starting to look like boy bands, spiky hair that played guitar, and yeah, some of the music was all right, but it just didn't look right. So, but that's just me, a bit of an old fuddy-duddy. Moving with the times, I think the phrase has often been shouted at me. So next up, got another band, Havoc. I say they look like like a band should do. I think they're thrash metalers as well, so they'll be well worth looking into. RIP, who look very 80s, so I think I'm going to like those lads. Death SS, I have heard of those before, but I've not heard them, so there we go. I'm going to have to read that with interest as well. Okay, so we've got this section here. This is an excerpt from a new book written by John Tucker, who's written some absolutely truly awesome books on heavy metal bands and heavy metal, and especially in the new wave of British heavy metal. If you go onto the same website that's selling the Judas Priest book, this book, which is covering the whole of the Monsters of Rock, okay, he's done some painstaking research into it. There's going to be some great photographs, I'm assuming, in it, because at the price tag of £130 just for the standard hardback copy, it's a book that I'm not going to be able to afford. If they want to send me one for free and I'll review it, yeah, I'll have some of that. Contact me, yeah, and I will review it quite gladly. But £130, that is well out of my price range, and I am working at that, so I do have a day job. I don't earn any money from my videos, so there we go. But it's a fascinating read, and it goes mainly into the 1988 Monsters of Rock, which was overshadowed by the tragic death of two fans. We lost two of us own that day, and it's talking to the bands who were there and their thoughts on what had happened there as well. So anyway, moving on to a brighter note, we've got a new interview with Heathen. I remember them first time round, great band they were, probably still are. Necrophobic, which is your, looks like death metal with all the corpse paint and everything. I don't mind corpse paint, it's all theatre to me, and I know there's a lot of metal fans don't like it, think it looks a bit daft and stupid. I've got no trouble with it, because the same people who have a go at bands like this wearing corpse paint will go and spend 70 quid to watch Kiss. There we go. Anyway, next one up, we've got Henrik Palm, who was a member of Solitude and Ghost. He's just released a solo project, so it's a nice interview with him there. Then we get on to the new releases, and there are absolutely a ton of new releases in here. A lot of bands that I didn't know had released new work, so we're always open to seeing this kind of thing, aren't we? So as we can see, loads and loads of new albums on there. There's just giving choice cuts of a couple that they picked out at random. Special mention. More new releases, as we can see. And then we got some reissues. We've got the Paranoid reissue box set. Great album. Is it going to be overpriced? I don't know. Probably is, but there we go. Like I say, this is going to be the argument for an up-and-coming video. So we've got new reissues. We've got the reworking of Diamond Head, Lightning to the Relations, Havoc in Flames, the Motorhead box set, which I've mentioned, a Uriah Heep 50 Years in Rock box set. Is that going to be hideously expensive? I don't know. We'll find out when we get to see it on Amazon or whatever. So there we go. Metalworks, these are DVD releases. Another live Hammerfall DVD, which Claire's going to be absolutely chomping the bit for me to get for Christmas, I think. A new Metallica DVD release as well. Then we've got books, 79, The Metal Revival When Britain Rot, written by Gary Bushell, which I am definitely going to be getting. And on the track Iron Maiden, every song, every album, which I probably wouldn't get that, but there we go. You never know. Santa might be nice. A couple more interviews there, then we go on to here, and we've got a live review from 1989, Sacred Reich. We can't get out gigging now. There's no gigs, no one to go and watch, so you know, let's go back into the archives and sort of see, the gigs that we used to go and see. I don't mind this at all. It does bring the memories come rushing back. I noticed it's at the Marquee Club. I hope for future gigs they're not going to be too London centric, where every gig from the past is going to be from, like say, the Marquee or Hammersmith Odeon, something like that. I think they're going to spread it around the country a bit, in fact spread it around the world a bit. Okay, so next one up, we've got Venom Prison, who did an online concert, I think it was. No audience, obviously, because of all this social distancing and whatever, and they did a live stream, and this is the band talking about that live stream. It's one that I missed, actually, so that's all new to me. Here we've got tour dates for next year. Hopefully we're going to get to be seeing all of them. A few more albums out there, adverts, a few more adverts for albums there as well. Then we've got Paradise Lost, Nick Holmes doing a little interview there. Then on the back there's a advert for t-shirts, and on the very back page we've got an advert for the Uri Heap 50 Years in Rock's deluxe box set. So there we go. That is what's inside the very first issue of Fistful of Metal. So there we go, Fistful of Metal magazine. Has this filled the hole left by Iron Fist? Yep, I think it has. I think James and the team have done an absolutely sterling job of even getting this magazine together in a whole pandemic thing that's going off. It's very, very well written, some awesome interviews in it. I think it's got the right mix of old and new in it as well. So it's not just waterball, new wave of British heavy metal. We've got stoner rock, thrash metal, everything, all the bands that people my age grew up with, listening to, and who are still out and about doing the rounds that all the other magazines just don't want to touch. I think Fistful of Metal is going to fill that void very nicely. Some awesome features in it, great CD reviews, great DVD reviews, of course, because there are no live shows happening at all. In the future, there's going to be loads more of that, because obviously we can't go to gigs. So I like the touch with doing the vintage one where they went back to the 80s for the Sacred Reich concert. Absolutely love that. And I say, when we all start getting out and gigging again, I'm sure this is going to be packed with loads of gig reviews too. The layout is fantastic. They didn't go down the smash hits route. If you're old enough to remember smash hits and you look at Kerrang now, you could be forgiven for thinking that you had actually picked up smash hits. That's one for the oldies. I like the layout on it. The font, for the most part, people like me have to read with glasses, is okay, though I say I would have liked to see the font on the album reviews probably gone up a next step. I was finding it a little hard to read the reviews because the font was so small. Price wise, myself, I don't know, I think it could be the old codger in me, but I think it could be doing with being a bit cheaper. £1 cheaper to make it £4.50, I think would have been a great price. Even knocking 50p off it and just making a £5 would have been even better. But who knows, if it continues and gains popularity, goes from strength to strength, and I'm sure when you get subscription deals for the year, then the price will come down, as usually happens. So like I say, other than that, I've got absolutely no problem with this magazine at all. I haven't read it all yet, so that's the great thing about magazines like this. You don't have to sit down and read them all in one sitting. It's something that you can keep going back to, reading a review there, right up there, absolutely fantastic, and I am really looking forward to seeing issue 2 of this in January. So with all that in mind, and not because it's got my all-time favourite band on the cover or it's the main feature in it, it's got nothing to do with it at all, but with all that in mind, I'm going to give Fistful of Metal magazine my full 5 Evil Ednas. And that's the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed that one. Please remember, if you haven't done so already, to subscribe to my channel. It'd be very much appreciated. And also don't forget to ring that little notification bell. Also, if you've got Facebook, you can follow me at Adrian Bauer Project. And if you've got a Twitter account, you can follow me at Project Bauer. So, with all that in mind, I'd like to thank you all again for watching, and here's to seeing you all again on the next episode of the Adrian Bauer Project.